Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. In a world full of noise, arguments, and endless opinions, knowing when not to speak is one of the greatest signs of wisdom. Silence is not weakness, it is a form of self control, maturity, and inner strength. It protects your peace, preserves your energy, and allows you to see things more clearly before reacting. Anger is one of the most powerful and destructive emotions a person can experience. In moments of anger, the mind becomes clouded, and logic often disappears. Words spoken in frustration can leave deep wounds that apologies may never heal. When you choose silence in anger, you are not avoiding confrontation, you are protecting peace. Staying silent allows your emotions to settle before you respond, helping you avoid the kind of words that can break relationships or damage your reputation. Silence gives you the strength to pause, breathe, and let the storm pass before making any move. When we react instantly in anger, we often regret it later. Those impulsive reactions are fueled by emotion, not reason. By staying silent, you give yourself the gift of time, a few moments to think clearly about the situation and your response. This brief pause can be the difference between escalation and understanding. It can transform a heated argument into a calm discussion, or even help you realize that the issue isn't worth your energy at all. Silence becomes your shield, guarding you from the harm of your own uncontrolled words. Silence in anger also shows maturity. It demonstrates that you are not controlled by others' actions or words, but rather by your own inner discipline. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect an angry reaction. But when you remain quiet, you take away their power. Your silence becomes a sign of emotional intelligence and strength. It says, I value my peace more than this argument. Over time, this habit builds your reputation as a composed, self-aware individual, someone who responds thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Moreover, silence gives you space to reflect on the root of your anger. Sometimes what we feel is not directed toward the person in front of us, but something deeper: stress, fear, or past hurt. Remaining silent allows you to understand these emotions instead of letting them explode outward. It's in these quiet moments that true self-awareness is born. You start learning that anger is not something to suppress, but to understand and master. Silence becomes not just a response, but a tool for personal growth, patience, and strength. In a world filled with rumors, assumptions, and half-truths, it's easy to jump to conclusions and speak before knowing the full story. But speaking without complete information can create confusion, damage trust, and hurt innocent people. Staying silent when you don't have all the facts is a mark of wisdom and emotional intelligence. It shows that you value truth over impulse and understanding over assumption. Silence in such situations protects not only your credibility, but also your relationships. Because once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. When you choose to remain silent instead of reacting based on incomplete knowledge, you give yourself the opportunity to observe, gather facts, and see the situation from all angles. Often, what appears true on the surface hides a deeper reality beneath. Many conflicts arise simply because people speak too soon without listening, researching, or verifying what really happened. Silence, therefore, becomes a form of respect. Respect for the truth, for others involved, and for your own integrity. Waiting to speak until you're sure allows your words to carry weight and meaning rather than dark and error. Silence also prevents the spread of misinformation. In personal relationships, workplaces, or social media, words travel faster than facts. When we speak too early, we risk fueling gossip or misunderstanding, which can harm reputations and trust. Choosing silence is not about fear or weakness. It's about responsibility. It shows that you understand the power of your words and the impact they can have. By staying quiet until the truth is clear, you avoid becoming part of the problem and instead position yourself as a voice of reason and balance. Furthermore, silence creates space for clarity. When emotions are high or information is unclear, Silence allows you to step back and think objectively. It teaches patience and discernment, two qualities that separate wise individuals from impulsive ones. Speaking without facts may feel satisfying in the moment, but it often leads to regret later. By choosing silence, you not only protect others from harm, but also protect yourself from embarrassment and guilt. Waiting for the truth may take time, but it always leads to peace of mind and stronger, more honest communication in the end. There are times in life when no amount of talking, explaining, or arguing can change the outcome. In such moments, silence becomes your most powerful response. When you realize that your words will not alter what has already happened, choosing to stay quiet helps you protect your energy and emotions. Some situations are beyond your control, and wasting your breath trying to fix what's unchangeable only deepens your frustration. Silence allows you to accept reality with grace rather than resistance. It is not a sign of giving up, it is a form of inner wisdom that recognizes when it's time to let go. Often, people believe that speaking more will help others understand their point of view. But when someone has already made up their mind, or when circumstances are fixed, your words may fall on deaf ears. Continuing to argue or justify yourself only drains your peace and dignity. Silence, in this case, becomes an act of strength. It shows that you know when to step back and let things unfold naturally. By refusing to engage in endless discussions that lead nowhere, you maintain your composure and demonstrate emotional maturity. Silence teaches you to focus on what you can control: your reaction, your attitude, and your calmness. When words lose their power, silence speaks volumes. It tells others that you value peace over pride and understanding over validation. Silence allows you to observe the situation more clearly instead of being blinded by emotion or ego. Sometimes people need to learn lessons on their own. No explanation or argument can make them see what they are not ready to see. By staying silent, you protect your mental peace and show that you trust time to reveal the truth. Silence, in this way, becomes a teacher. It helps you understand that not every battle requires your voice. Moreover, silence in unchangeable situations helps you reconnect with your inner calm. Instead of being caught in cycles of reaction, you learn to find peace within yourself. This stillness gives you strength to move forward, rather than getting stuck in what you cannot undo. It teaches acceptance, patience, and resilience. You begin to realize that silence does not mean weakness. It means wisdom. It's the quiet understanding that not every problem can be solved with words, and not every situation deserves your explanation. Sometimes, silence is the only language that truly brings peace to a restless heart. When someone deliberately tries to provoke you, their goal is often to steal your peace and make you react. They want to see you lose control, argue, or show frustration so they can feel powerful. But when you choose silence instead of reaction, you immediately take that power away from them. Silence in the face of provocation is not weakness, it's mastery. It means you understand that your emotions belong to you, not to anyone else. By refusing to react, you protect your dignity and maintain authority over your own state of mind. Your silence sends a message stronger than words. You cannot control me. Provocation thrives on attention and energy. When you argue or respond to negativity, you feed it, giving the other person exactly what they want. But when you remain calm and composed, you cut off their source of satisfaction. This form of silence is powerful because it confuses and disarms those who expect conflict. They realize they cannot manipulate you or shake your confidence. In that moment, your silence becomes an invisible armor. It protects you from emotional harm and keeps your focus on what truly matters. It's a reminder that your inner peace is more valuable than winning a meaningless argument. Silence in such moments also demonstrates deep emotional intelligence. It shows that you have learned to rise above petty situations and not let temporary emotions define your behavior. Anyone can shout or argue back, but it takes real strength to remain still, to breathe, and to choose calm over chaos. Silence helps you observe others' true intentions. It allows you to see who genuinely seeks understanding and who simply wants to drag you into negativity. By staying quiet, you not only save your energy, but also gain clarity about who deserves your time and who doesn't. Moreover, silence teaches patience and self-control. Every time you resist the urge to react, you train your mind to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. You begin to understand that not every action needs a reaction, and not every insult deserves a response. Silence becomes your form of discipline, helping you build inner peace that cannot be disturbed by outside noise. It reminds you that strength is not in shouting louder, but in staying calm when others expect you to break. In silence, you discover your real power. The power to choose peace over provocation. Listening is one of the most underrated yet powerful skills a person can possess. In a world where everyone wants to speak, argue, and express their opinions, the ability to remain silent and truly listen sets you apart. When you stay silent and listen, you give others the space to express themselves fully, and in return, you gain a deeper understanding of their thoughts, feelings, and intentions. Silence in listening is not emptiness, it is presence. It means you are fully engaged, paying attention not only to the words being said, but also to the emotions and meanings behind them. This kind of silence creates connection and builds trust because people feel valued when they are truly heard. Too often, people listen only to reply, not to understand. They interrupt, assume, or rush to defend their point of view. But when you remain silent and allow others to finish speaking, you invite clarity. You gather details, notice patterns, and discover truths that might otherwise be missed. Silence in these moments becomes a sign of respect. It shows that you care enough to hear someone's complete story before forming an opinion. It also prevents misunderstandings and unnecessary conflicts. Through silence, you become wiser because you learn not from your own voice, but from the experiences and perspectives of others. Listening silently also strengthens emotional intelligence. When you truly listen, you learn empathy. You begin to understand how others feel and why they think the way they do. This awareness helps you build better relationships, both personally and professionally. By choosing silence over interruption, you develop patience and humility. You recognize that you don't always need to have the last word. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply to listen. Silence allows you to observe the tone, body language, and unspoken emotions of others, helping you respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. Furthermore, silence while listening gives you time to process and reflect. It allows your mind to analyze information deeply, to connect ideas, and to form meaningful insights. Great leaders, thinkers, and communicators all understand this truth. Wisdom grows in silence. When you stay quiet, you give your thoughts space to mature before turning them into words. You become more composed, more insightful, and more grounded in your responses. Silence in these moments transforms listening from a passive act into an active tool of learning and growth. It helps you become not just a better communicator, but a wiser human being. In moments of uncertainty or emotional pain, silence can be one of the most powerful forms of self-care. When you are hurt, confused, or unsure about what to do next, rushing to speak or react can often make things worse. Emotions in their rawest form can distort your judgment and cause you to say things you might later regret. Choosing silence gives you time to process what you're feeling and understand the true source of your pain. It creates a safe space within yourself, a pause between what has happened and how you choose to respond. In that quiet space, clarity begins to form, and you start to see things from a calmer, more balanced perspective. When you're uncertain, the pressure to act or explain yourself can be overwhelming. People may demand answers or push you for a reaction, but sometimes the wisest choice is to stay silent until you truly know what's right for you. Silence doesn't mean indecision, it means patience. It's the acknowledgement that your thoughts and emotions need time to settle before you can speak with truth and intention. By remaining silent, you protect your peace and prevent yourself from making choices driven by confusion or emotional pain. This pause allows you to observe your feelings rather than being controlled by them. Silence also acts as a powerful healer. When you're hurt, instead of venting every emotion or trying to explain your pain to those who may not understand, silence allows you to turn inward. It gives your heart the chance to breathe, to process, and to begin healing from within. Speaking too soon about your pain can sometimes reopen wounds that are still fresh. But silence, intentional, peaceful silence, becomes a balm that soothes your spirit. It helps you rediscover your strength and teaches you that not every hurt needs to be shared. Some pains are meant to be understood privately before they can be released publicly. Moreover, silence during uncertain or painful moments teaches emotional maturity. It shows that you don't need to rush toward resolution or validation. You are learning to sit with discomfort, to trust the process, and to allow time to guide you toward understanding. Silence nurtures resilience. It helps you observe your emotions, accept them, and slowly transform them into wisdom. Through this stillness, you realize that pain and uncertainty are not signs of weakness, but opportunities for growth. The quiet moments become your teachers, guiding you toward inner peace and self-awareness that words could never fully express. There are times in life when words become unnecessary because your actions are enough to prove your worth, your effort, and your strength. In such moments, silence is not emptiness, it's confidence. When you remain silent and focus on your actions, you shift your energy from trying to convince others to simply showing them what you are capable of. People may doubt your potential, question your choices, or underestimate your abilities. But instead of wasting time explaining yourself, you let your achievements become your voice. Silence becomes your quiet declaration that you don't need validation. Your results will speak for you louder than any argument ever could. In a world where everyone is trying to be heard, silence paired with consistent action is rare and powerful. Talking about dreams is easy, but turning those dreams into reality requires focus and discipline. Every time you stay silent and work in the background, you are building strength that doesn't rely on recognition. You are proving to yourself that success doesn't come from announcing your plans. It comes from committing to them. Silence in action gives you direction. It allows you to stay grounded and avoid distractions that come from external opinions. It's in those quiet hours of effort, unseen by others, where real progress happens. When you act instead of speak, people begin to notice without you needing to say a word. Your silence becomes a statement of purpose. It tells the world that you are too busy growing to engage in meaningless talk. This approach also protects your goals from unnecessary negativity or interference. The more you speak about what you want to do, the more you invite doubt and criticism. But when you stay silent and let your actions unfold naturally, success becomes your response. Silence gives your journey dignity. It allows your hard work to mature quietly until it blooms into undeniable results. Moreover, silence teaches you humility and patience. It reminds you that true success doesn't need to shout, it simply shines. When your actions begin to bear fruit, your silence carries a sense of calm assurance that words cannot match. People may try to provoke you into proving yourself, but you no longer feel the need to defend or explain. You've learned that actions, discipline, and perseverance have a language of their own. Silence becomes your strength, your shield, and your most powerful expression of confidence. It shows that greatness doesn't need to be announced. It simply reveals itself through what you do, not what you say. Silence is not emptiness. It is strength, wisdom, and discipline. It teaches you when to speak and when to hold back, when to act and when to observe. In every situation, whether you are angry, hurt, provoked, or uncertain, silence becomes your shield and your teacher. It protects your peace, guards your dignity, and allows you to see life with greater clarity. The ability to remain silent when your emotions demand otherwise is a sign of true maturity and self-mastery. In a world filled with noise, endless chatter, and constant opinions, silence sets you apart. It helps you listen more deeply, understand more clearly, and respond more wisely. It shows that you have control over your emotions and confidence in your truth. Silence doesn't mean you are weak or indifferent. It means you are choosing peace over chaos, growth over reaction, and understanding over ego. When you learn the art of being silent in the right moments, you become untouchable. No provocation can shake your composure, no gossip can break your focus, and no misunderstanding can steal your calm. You begin to realize that the most powerful voice you have is sometimes the one that doesn't speak at all. So remember, your silence has meaning. It carries depth, discipline, and grace. Use it wisely, because in silence lies the power to transform anger into peace, confusion into clarity, and pain into wisdom. Let your silence speak for you, and let your actions echo louder than your words ever could.